Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Software Engineer K here, and today we're going to be addressing a couple of interesting topics. So firstly, we had the unlock of the founders tokens. So we had quite a few billions worth in founder tokens unlocked today. I believe it was about 18.5 billion OMI tokens were unlocked. So we're just going to see, kind of what happened. A lot of people were assuming that the price was absolutely going to tank because the founders were going to dump. So we're just going to assess that. We do also have a bit of an update with regards to the floor prices of the recent SpiderMan drop as well. So I made a prediction earlier. I just wanted to show you guys now that we have, now that we've had a couple of days just to see how that price has now adjusted and why my prediction came true. Just based off of how I analyzed the initial valuation based off of existing collectibles. And I also wanted to just touch on the price of OMI for today. So without further ado, we'll just go straight into it. Now, in terms of the founder token, so if you're on the OMI World Watcher, you should have seen that today there were quite a lot of unlocks of the founder token. So 3.75 billion, 7.5 billion, 7.5 billion. So if we have a look at one of these transactions, so if we just go to the Go Chain Explorer, you should be able to see the transaction itself. Now, if we go to tokens held, so this is the wallet that the unlock was made to, and you can see here that they're currently holding appears to be 15 billion tokens. So this was one of the addresses that just got 7.5 billion recently. Yeah, so you can see from the smart contract to this holder 7.5 billion OMI, and now they have 15 billion total. So they actually haven't sold anything so far, and it's been quite a while. So yes, they will probably eventually sell when they want to sell, but this should be a very, very bullish indicator to you. The fact that these founders haven't really sold anything, they most likely know what's coming, and so it doesn't make sense for them to sell right now. But I wouldn't use that as the only indicator. That's not the pure only reason why I'm continuing to accumulate OMI. There are loads of other reasons, but the fact that these founders aren't selling, that should be a good indicator for you. Now, on the point of the SpiderMan floor prices, so now he did kind of reshare of my prediction, which was SpiderMan's floor price should hit in the 700 range, and it has now actually come down below that to 670, 675 when this was taken. I believe at the time of this recording it's about 620, 630. So how did I come to that 700 prediction? Well, firstly, I do not look at eBay, because some people seem to look at eBay for prices, and let me just show you how distorted these prices are. So on eBay, they were showing sold as 4.5k for the secret rare, 3.5k, 3.5k. The ultra rare was 1.6k, 1.4k. So firstly, eBay, just because it's showing as sold doesn't mean it actually someone paid that much for it. There are so many ways you can give the perception that something is overly valued. Firstly, you can list them for whatever you want. Secondly, you can just have yourself on another account or a friend just buy it off you. Obviously they're not really buying it, but it shows as sold. And this is partly why I just never really look at eBay. All the prices since like the very early drops, they were just really distorted. So I wouldn't use that, because anyone can just inflate the price. Now, what I would want to share is Cryptopunk. So there have been a few articles kind of just related to the sort of money laundering that's been happening with NFT. Well, it's been happening with cryptos for a while and NFTs. Now, I'm not saying people would use these VeVe NFTs, for example, as a front for money laundering, but there have been cases with NFTs where they've been grossly overvalued, and the reason why they were selling for such ridiculous sums is because they were kind of being used as a vehicle for money laundering, which is why VeVe is going to have KYC when you cash out, but they won't have KYC for you to sign up. That's the difference. Now, if you have a look at some of these CryptoPunks, for example, so this one here, okay, it should have some price history, I believe. Price histories here. Okay, it doesn't really seem to show any price history. I think there was another one that I saw just now that was like 88 Ethereum. So what I just wanted to say is a lot of these NFTs, what can happen and what we know has happened is people will use the price history as a way to gauge, what the value is. And the problem with using price history is sometimes what can happen is someone will create an NFT, they'll have a friend of theirs buy it for a ridiculous sum, and then they'll kind of trade it between a few of their friends. And that what that does is that builds up a price history, so you can kind of see, increasing price. And then that NFT that they've traded amongst people they know, they relist it, and they'll relist it for maybe less than kind of what the average trading price was. And all of a sudden it looks like a good deal. But really all they've done is just essentially forged price history that appears, relative to whatever it's selling for, to be pretty good. Yeah, so you can see, sold for 27 and then sold for 70. So, that's just something to be very, very conscious of, that there are so many ways that people can manipulate the floor price of NFTs. So I would not use, relative pricing. What I personally do is I know that the early collectibles such as Riso, such as, Golden Moogly, the prices of those just never really budge, regardless of market condition. That's because the demographics of the app back when the app first launched, those first 5,000 users, there were pretty much no flippers around at the time because people were so early to the app that there just wasn't really, the user base for flippers to make money off of. Resos were just sitting around unsold for ages. So, what I think is good is using these collectibles, looking at their market cap, so just multiplying the floor price by the number of editions, and then that gives me a market cap. And then what I would typically do is, if it's of a similar rarity, then I'll just simply divide the number of editions of the new drop into the market cap of the original drop, which might have been Reso, for example, or in the case of the Secret Rare SpiderMan, I used the floor price of the Secret Rare Moogly, which is about $1.6 million. So that gave me a valuation of about, $1,600 for the Secret Rare SpiderMan, and that was like my fair valuation. $1,600 for the Secret Rare, and about $700 for the Ultra Rare. Now, that being said, the Ultra Rare has actually hit that price and it's dropped below that. The Secret Rare I do see coming down to around that 1.6k range, just because that would match the market cap of the Golden Moogly, and people will come out and say, oh, but the Spider-Man's animated, oh, but it's Marvel. And all of these reasons were already priced in. The flippers already priced these in. Everyone knew this. And what's essentially going to happen is, there will be other cool collectibles. There will be more Marvel collectibles. We have another one coming out next week. And when that's announced, people will need gems. And then those who are, recently bought the Secret Spider-Man, many of them will probably sell. And you will get a lowering of price of the newer Secret Rares. The original Secret Rare, Golden Moogly, the original Ultra Rare, Reso, you will notice that the prices on those will not budge very much at all when we do get the new drop announced. And that's just kind of how it is now. So I would say overall, look at market cap of a collectible where the price of it is pretty stable, and then use that to judge how much value a new drop will have. Don't worry about the utility and whatnot. That should give you a pretty solid floor price, and I guarantee there are going to be kind of newer collectibles with even more impressive utility. I made a point that you can have collectibles which are gesture or voice reactive, so you could give them a voice command and they'll do something like that. Is perfectly possible. I've done it as well myself with AR models. So yeah, that's kind of like the main takeaway point, is just watch out for the floor prices on, eBay, on OpenSea, whatnot, whatever it is that you're looking at. Don't just look at pricing history, but kind of use the market cap of a stable NFT to judge what you think it should be valued at. Well, this is kind of more specific to VeVe. But yeah, what I wanted to also touch on is just the price of OMI for today, because this kind of links back to the unlock of the founder token. So if we just enlarge this, now what we've been seeing is OMI, it has kind of just been trading within this zone that we mapped out, and it is actually moving slightly upwards. It will retest this key point of resistance here, but because the founder token unlock FUD has kind of died off, I believe that we will now potentially continue to move upwards. When we have the MTL news confirmed 100%, I believe we will smash through this previous high here and just continue on this uptrend that we drew before. Now, MTL is targeted for end of the month, but I'm not sure if they will hit that deadline because it is extremely complicated. So I wouldn't kind of, I wouldn't bet on it. But, for now, I believe we will trade comfortably in this zone. And once we have the MTL, once we have, the ability to cash out, and the web platform is also being worked on, so that's pretty good. And yeah, immutable X transfer as well, all of that's good stuff. We will then finally break back onto this upwards trend line here. But yeah, tomorrow we have a AMA with the Millennial OMI guys, so myself, Tapstrade, Daniel Lee, and Wannabe Champ. We'll have a special guest joining us, so it will be pretty cool. Tune in for that. That will be 7 p.m. GMT. Hopefully we are going to be ready to announce more details of the big community quiz as well, which Trevor and Reese are going to be helping us host. We have some prizes sponsored as well with Ecomi, so that will be pretty fun. Now, yeah, that's pretty much everything I want to go through with you guys today. So thanks so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe to support the content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.